Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday. It is day 2. Okay. So I was browsing around looking at what kind of tier list I wanted to do, and one feedback that I got was that I should do something that I'm a little bit more knowledgeable. I guess that was the right term. The thing is, it's not always that simple because I wanted to get something like, yeah, there were a lot of Disney movies that I didn't really know, and I get it, but I wanted something to be more relatable. That being said, we are moving to a much more, well, something that's definitely I'm more familiar with. I don't know if it's relatable. Anyways, yesterday was the anniversary of Pokemon. So what does that mean? That means we are doing a Pokemon tier list. Now, I don't know if like I know for a fact that not every Pokemon is here, and I still don't know what's wrong with my chroma key. I need to fix that. Alright. Is music loudness a-okay? Did you by chance delete a comment of mine in the Discord? I don't think so. Do you recall what the comment was about? Because I don't recall. Wait, hold on. There is an auto mod on the Discord. There is an auto mod on the Discord, just so you know. So it really depends. Oh! Okay, yeah, you know what? No, you're right. I did delete a comment, but I deleted the comment. I thought I told you, but I guess I got carried away. The comment that you pointed out didn't have to be pointed out because you pointing it out makes it so that more people know about it. That's why I removed it. Does that make sense? It's not I'm trying to silence people. It's more so I'm trying to protect your privacy because you pointing it out makes it more obvious, whereas if you didn't point it out, people would not really care. But by all means, if you want to post that comment, I'm not gonna stop you. Anyways, welcome to day 2 of Welcome Back Week. This is a double feature Tuesday where we're gonna do a tier list followed by trivia. Now, as it is Welcome Back Week, winners of trivia will be acquiring giveaway points. But let's just have some fun and discuss some good old-fashioned Pokemon. So yesterday was Pokemon's anniversary, but it was also Music Monday, so I didn't do this yesterday. But here we have every Pokemon as of January 2020, so it's 3 years. It's 3 years behind, but it is what it is. Is there any way I can, like, turn off the filter? There. Is that better? There we go. I fixed it. Okay, cool. Okay. I'm just gonna go in order, and I'll do like a brief. This is just how much I like them, okay? I will give my reasoning. All right. Bulbasaur is not bad. You know, let's go B for Bulbasaur. Ivysaur, it's, you know, Mega Venusaur is a-okay. Never used it before. Don't really like the design of it that much. Same goes for Venusaur. I feel like it's a little too bulky for me. Charmander, I actually like Charmander, but not as much as, like, the evolutions are kind of just not as nice. This is an abomination of a design. Okay, and I'll tell you why. That's X? I think that's Charizard X. Mega Charizard X is an abomination of a design. It is literally for people who don't have shinies. Like, because people want a shiny Charizard, so they settle for a Mega Charizard X. It's a shiny. It looks like a shiny. It's not a shiny. It's an abomination. That's what it is. It's a Fire Dragon type. These are Mega evolutions. So back in this generation, you can hold a, I guess for Charizard it would be a Charizardite. You just add ITE, like, you know, like a meteorite, you just add ITE to the end. And you can transform, you can Mega Evolve, which is kind of like a Digimon evolution because they revert back at the end of battle. You can only Mega Evolve once in the entire battle, and almost every Pokemon change somewhere or the other. Hello, thank you for the, wow, 43 months. Time flies. We are going to be doing trivia later. Vlad, I know you like trivia. The only Pokemon I have played with Mega is Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go's Mega Evolution is kind of weak, to be honest, but same idea. It's a temporary evolution that boosts in stats and sometimes gives it different abilities. Bring me to the next Charizard, Mega Charizard Y. A tier. You know what? It's A tier, and I'll tell you why. It gains the ability Drought? I think that's what it's called. Basically, when you switch it in, the weather turns sunny, which gives him extra damage when you use a fire move. Like, you can run down water types with this. Also, you know, it pays tribute to the original Charizard, but I think it actually looks cooler. I think OG Charizard is aight. Like, it's hella overrated, and I'm gonna lose. Like, people are gonna, like, if people come in and they see this chart, they're gonna be like, what is wrong with you putting Charizard in B tier? But I honestly think Charizard is hella overrated. Squirtle, you know, same deal. You know, like, Mega, this is just ugly. This is personal, what I like and what I don't like. You know, S being, I love it, you know, like my favorite Pokemon. Everything. For me personally, it's everything. Like, I put everything. Sometimes it's appearance, sometimes it's like its capabilities, you know, like I will explain why what is and what. Yeah. Blastoise is a tank, but I think it's aight. Like, put it right here maybe. Caterpie, I don't like caterpillars. I've had childhood traumatic experiences with caterpillars. I have one Pokemon that better be S tier, but I won't say. I think I know which one you're thinking of when we get there. Metapod is a meme, but realistically, I would never, if possible, I would never have it in my party at all times. There was a theory about Butterfree supposedly being the actual evolution of Venonat. Let's put it there. B for Butterfree, you know. Weedle would be the same. You know, I'm not really a fan of bugs in reality. Like, bugs, it's really hard to describe this properly, but from my personal history, as a personal history, I have been poisoned. I have been poisoned by caterpillars growing up. I know it's weird. I don't know how it happened. I don't know if it was mixed with allergies. I was a kid, but I got poisoned by a caterpillar. Traumatic experience. I don't like bugs. Creepy crawlies. I don't know why this is in front of that, but the Beedrill. Oh, and it begins. And it begins. People are disappointed. Hi, Ghoul. Beedrill is not very good. I just don't really like Beedrill. My Gen 1 is really, really biased. I don't really like Gen 1 all that much. Mega Beedrill looks pretty cool. I gotta say. Put it there. B for Beedrill, you know? Pidgey. So in Gen 1, Pidgey is actually my favorite evolution line, but that's only after the evolution, you know? S tier. S tier Pidgeot. Mega Pidgeot was kind of sad, to be honest. Let's put it... like, Tailwind is a great ability. When Mega Pidgeot is on the field, it speeds up your entire team. And it's also got No Guard as an ability, I think, which means it can never miss, but it also never dodge. So everything that the Mega Pidgeot will use will hit, and everything that is aimed towards it will also hit. Thank you so much for the resub, Superboy. Appreciate it, appreciate it. Alright, Rattata, the rats, you know. Like, I like the original more. Definitely don't like that. Where is Raticate? Oh, Raticate. They forgot Raticate. Okay. Fearow and Spearow. I'll put Spearow. Of course, Pidgeot is S tier, obviously. Fearow. Spearow just because, you know, the meme of the Captain Jack Spearow. Ekans and Arbok. Was not really a fan of them. Yeah, I would rather use Raticate over... I would use Raticate over Arbok. Pikachu is, I would say, high A. I do like Pikachu. I know it's like really, really overrated at this point, but I do like Pikachu. Way more than Charmander, for sure. Love Alolan Raichu. Don't like regular Raichu. Let's put it there. Alolan Raichu is just adorable. What are we ranking them on, just how much we like them? I am ranking them just how much I like them. You can disagree and hate all as much as you want. If you rank Charizard X below Charizard Y, you high. Charizard X is so unnecessary, okay? It is the fake shiny. It is not necessary. Charizard Y is so much better, honestly. You know, I would give Charizard X a higher rating if the color wasn't like that, honestly. I love Sandshrews. Sandslash S tier. Alolan Sandslash S tier. Regular Sandslash, I will give it a A, or maybe like, yeah, A tier should be fine. Sandshrews, I guess they go into the B tier. I don't really like the design of an Alolan Sandshrew. I know it's supposed to kind of resemble like an igloo head, but I don't dig it that much. Nidoran, the Nidoran, Nidorino, Nidoqueen, Nidoran, Nidorino, Nidoking, I think. I feel like this, I might have butchered something. Let's put... I don't really particularly care for these. These are cute. These are not as cute. It's kind of a beast. Nidoking is kind of a beast. Nidoqueen... I am not sexist, it's just from my personal experience, the design-wise and how much I like them, this is how I would rate them, okay? Clefairy... Clefable's decent. I put them here. Alolan Sandshrew. Alolan Vulpix. I don't think I thought you were sexist until I said that. So far I agree with 100% for Arbok and E. What would you put Arbok in? So for Ninetales, I really like the Alolan Ninetales, but it's not like S tier for me. Vulpix is just adorable. Both regular and Alolan Vulpix are just adorable. Regular Ninetales is nice, so I might push it to A later on. Actually, with this much Pokemon, I really don't think I'm gonna be pushing anything anytime soon. Jigglypuff, I'll put it in C for singing. I know singing is not spelled with a C, but I like Wigglytuff more, way more. You know what? I like Wigglytuff more than I like Char. Actually, yeah, I do. Sue me, okay? I like Wigglytuff more than I like Charizard. I actually find Zubat to be kind of cute, but just very annoying. Like, you go into a cave and you get spammed with Zubats and they spam Supersonic and you just injure yourself because of confusion. Charizard is overrated. Yeah, Charizard is hell overrated. We got the weed Pokemon. I'm following. I don't really have too much on Oddish. I honestly don't have too much, like, I don't feel like, maybe I should rename these. I will. HR department is run with squirrels. It won't go anywhere. Hold on. I need to change this. No opinion. Okay. No opinion. And oh my gosh, this website's weird. Don't like. Okay. Alright. So not really much of an opinion. I'm gonna push that up. You know, having this whole no opinion thing is weird. I'm gonna revert that actually. Move your head to the left. Is that a little better? You know what? It's fine. I don't need to explain myself. We're good enough. We're moving on, cause move it to the right side. Oh, to cover that ad. Nah, I think it's fine where it is. Maybe I'll flip it later. Don't like. Vileplume is not bad. Don't like. It's slightly better than Parasect. Paras is slightly better than Parasect in my opinion. I'm not a huge fan of Venonat, but I do like the shiny Venonat. It's really pretty. I really need to reorganize some of these. I would rather use yeah. You know what? Like that. Yeah. Also, this is just unrealistic. There. Quickly. You know what we'll do one gen by one gen, and then we're gonna organize horizontally. Alolan Diglett, I don't like it. Okay. Regular Diglett, fancy hair. It's like bad design, bad Pokemon design. I actually quite like Alolan Meowth, and I really don't like Alolan Persian. Like, why? Why did they make it like that? Regular Meowth and regular Persian. Actually, I'm not really a fan of regular Persian either, but I do like regular Persian more than Alolan Persian. Arrow telling us he prefers baldies over hair. See, this hair is just weird. It's weird. I very much like Galarian Meowth. It's cool. Cool. Let's push it to here. I like the whole, like, hey, you look at Alolan Meowth. Alolan Meowth is looking like very classy, you know, very suave, and then becomes a chunk boy. Like, that's not a very good transition in my opinion. Like, if Alolan Meowth was more chunk and they evolved to be chunk, that makes sense. But you have this really stylish Meowth to evolve into chunk. That to me doesn't make much sense. Psyduck is cute, but it's Psyduck. It's Psyduck. Not really a fan of Golduck. Do you know, apparently they renamed it. They named it incorrectly. Golduck was supposed to be Psyduck, and Psyduck was supposed to be Golduck. That's why, you know, Psyduck is gold, and also Golduck has a lot of psychic moves. So it should have been reversed, but they messed up because, I don't know. They apparently also messed up Venonat into Butterfree. But, like, if you look at Venomoth, and you look at Metapod, it has a lot of resemblance. Moving on. For those I don't know, not a huge fan of monkeys. I just don't really like monkeys. I'm allowed to not like things. Monkey with anger issues. Arcanine and Growlithe. Racism returns. Growlithe A tier. Growlithe A tier. Yeah. Arcanine. Y'all gonna hate me for putting Arcanine in B tier. I'm putting Arcanine in B tier. Okay, sue me. Oh. Wait, where's Panda? Oh, Panda's busy. I don't know. I want to know what his reaction is when I tell him that Arcanine is B tier. Come to my stream. Arcanine is in danger. Oh, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Poliwag, Poliwhirl, Poliwrath. Not a huge fan. We'll throw them in here, you know. We'll throw them in here. These are not like sideways orders. Needs to be resolved later. Abra is pretty cute. I like Abra. I don't know how y'all think about Abra's evolution line. I don't like how it has silverware. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, okay? It does not make sense. It doesn't make sense. Why would it have spoons? Okay, you know what? I'll do it. I'll put it higher D. Okay, there. Look at his fluffy tail. I really don't like Alakazam. Mega Alakazam. I would use Alakazam over some of these though. Like probably there. Actually, you know what? Probably there. Don't hate. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people who likes the Abra line. Abra is... Okay, first of all, for those that have never played, Abra is very annoying to catch. Because standard Abras in the game only know teleport. Which means... Pokemon Honest trailer. I have seen a lot of them. And they are really, really well made. But I forgot a lot of them. Abracadabra is my #1 from all games, but yeah, Alakazam is kind of meh. Abra, when you try and catch it, if you don't catch it on the first try, it'll just teleport away. Machop, Machamp, also known as Goro. I don't like it. Also, Is the pants part of the Pokemon? Can the Pokemon take off the pants? You know, just use block or mean look, question answered. I don't like the design of this, nor have I ever used it. Weeping Bell and Victory Bell. I like Victory Bell actually. Let's put Victory Bell up here. I like how C tier is where I like. Actually, you know what? I would push Victory Bell higher. Don't like Tentacruel. Tentacruel is kind of cool. Ha, ha, Tentacruel is kind of cool. But it's not because it's cruel. But I'm sorry. I really don't like. I really don't like. Maybe because of Pokemon Go, I despise it even more. Like regular Geodude is fine. You know, regular Graveler is fine. Golem, right? But the Alolan ones are just weird, and maybe it's because I hatched like 8 of them. I have like 8 of these. I just don't want them. I don't want them. I don't like it. I don't like the design of it. I don't like the typing. I don't like it. Galarian Ponta. I say A tier. Regular Ponta C tier. The shiny would be an S tier for me. For those that don't know, shiny Ponta is blue. Galarian Rapidash. I don't think so actually. I would put it on A tier as well. And regular Rapidash is, I would put D tier. Well, we'll reorganize left and right later. The one that looks like a Homer. I can't say I'm a fan of it. Slowpoke really just lounging. Draw me like one of your Slowpoke girls. I like Slowpoke's evolution line. In fact, I really like the design of Mega Slowbro. The design is like beautiful. Regular Slowbro, let's put it in B for Slowbro. Magnemite. You know what? I'm just gonna put this here and I'm gonna rename. Really don't like. These are definitely here. Oops. The evolution of Slowpoke is literally the Pokemon fishing another Pokemon using its tail. True. I don't like Magneton. Like, I don't like it that much. I feel like it's also kind of lazy. Really not a fan of the Farfetch lines. Dodo, Dotrio, Seal. Dewgong is not bad. And then we got the Mucks and the Grimers. Not really a fan of them. You know, I will actually say really not a fan of them. Not a fan of Shelder. Seal is cute, but sadly Spheal exists, which is better. True. Wait till you see me rate Spheal. I like Cloyster, but not a lot. I would put it in D tier. If Cloyster was shiny, then that'd be an A tier for me. Ghastly. I don't really care much about Ghastly. Mega Gengar, high A tier. Haunter, for me, would be a D. Mega Gengar is probably going to be a B for me. Like, I know how people like it a lot, I just don't see that much of an appeal. Supposedly, Gengar is the shadow of Clefable. Supposedly. I don't know if it's proven or... I think it's overrated. Onyx, not a fan. Hypno and Drowsy. Drowsy and Hypno. Drowsy and Hypno. Gengar is one of my top 3 Pokemon. 3C? I don't know if the C is a typo. We got Krabby and Kingler. C typo? I see. Krabby. Kingler, I would put it in D just because I had a really strong Kingler at one point. Voltorb. And... what's his name? Hold on. Don't. Electrode. I don't think they're good designs. I don't like them. Execute or the 66. This is just kind of funny at this point, but it wasn't. I really don't like a lot of Pokemon. Cubone, kind of cute. I do like how they made Marowak a fire ghost type. Kind of dark, but also kind of like, you know, like the Polynesian fire dancer. It's kind of cool. Cubone is Marowak. Marowak isn't as fancy in my opinion. Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan. You know, I don't like Hitmonchan as much. I know they're supposed to resemble Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan, and while I do like Jackie Chan, I just don't like the design of Hitmonchan that much. Licky Tongue. It's I guess. I'll put it in D tier. Wheezing. I guess. Galarian Wheezing is... it's an interesting Pokemon. Like, it's a fairy poison, which makes it resistant to poison as a fairy, and that's really big. But yeah, creative, but also kind of funny / interesting, you know. Wheezing, a standard Wheezing though, it's kind of a very depressing Pokemon to look at it. It's kind of like it doesn't, like you go from coughing to wheezing. Like, it looks like it's suffering. Rhyhorn, Rhydon. Not really a fan. Rhydon is a little better in my opinion. This Chansey, right? This is Chansey. Chansey. I'm not a fan of tanky Pokemons, I think. I'm gonna put Chansey in don't like. Tangela, don't really like as well. Mega Kangaskhan. I think it's a very solid Mega Evolution, actually. There's Joy's assistant. Mega Kangaskhan, for those that don't know, I think it's... I don't know the name of the ability, but basically whatever you do, it hits twice. So if you use something like Power Up Punch, you Power Up Punch twice, which is kind of broken. Regular Kangaskhan is just not as good. You know what? I'm not even gonna push it a D tier. Horsey, not... I can't say I'm a fan of Horsey. Seadra, not so much either. I realize I'm not a huge fan of fish and seafood. Gengar kind of low. Okay, here. Star Me, Star You. I don't know which one is the... Star U is the pre-evolution, right? I love most water types that just aren't a fish. Like, this one's fine. But I feel like Star U is kind of bland. Mr. Mime is creepy. I found Mr. Mime always creepy. The Galarian one is better, but I like the evolution. Where's Mr. Rhyme? Oh my gosh. You know what? I feel like we're not gonna get through this. Where's Mr. Rhyme? Must be somewhere. Oh, Mr. Rhyme. Mr. Rhyme is high. It's there. Scyther is hell overrated. It's strong, don't get me wrong, but I find it really, really overrated. Jinx, I don't really like Jinx either. Electabuzz, not a fan. Flaming Butthead. The Mega Evolution of Pinsir. Actually, you know, I don't really like it. Hey Panda. Pangoro number 1? I like Pancham, not as much Pangoro as much. I like Pinsir more than the Mega though, that's for sure. I feel like Mega Pinsir should not have been a Mega. It should have just been an actual evolution. All the Pandas number 1. Tauros, Magikarp, you know what? We'll put Magikarp in D. Mega Gyarados is meh. Oh man, I feel like people are gonna judge me. I don't like Gyarados. There, I said it. I don't like Gyarados, okay? I don't like the design of Gyarados. I generally just don't like the design of Gyarados. Why is Arcanine B? Because it's good, but it's not A, you know? It's like almost there. Just so you know, anything above C, I like. I like anything above C. D is like, occasionally, yeah, I'll use them. Like, and then anything under is like, I would rather just not use it. Lapras, I would put it in the C. Ditto. Oh, Ditto is, you know, whoever you want them to be. High A rank. I would run a Ditto if I could. Eevee. Eevee is an A rank. Vaporeon, despite all the creepypasta, I would put Vaporeon. I would put Vaporeon probably here. You see, there's just a lot of other water type Pokemon that are just better, and that's why Vaporeon's not that high. Jolteon. Jolteon is B tier for me. Flareon, I don't like the design of Flareon. Sue me. Vaporeon used to be, it still is, but there's just much better other Pokemon to use. Flareon should be changed. What do you mean changed? Art? Not list order. I see. Ammonite and Amanite. Baby Cthulhu. I don't know the name of it. I don't like the design of this. Kind of cute. And then we got the real Scyther. Kabutops. I would put it in B tier. I really don't like Mega Aerodactyl. And Aerodactyl is also up here. People are like, but it has arrow in its name. I'm like, so? Who says I like myself? Snorlax. I just don't like Snorlax. Oh my gosh. Okay, fine. C tier. Alright, the people's choice. B tier. Articuno is one of my favorite legendaries. Actually, I would put either A or B. I like the Galarian. Is it Galarian? The new one's Galarian, right? There's so many regions that at this point I'm not really sure anymore. I think it's Galarian. A for Articuno. Okay, so I don't know if anyone knows, but no. I said Galarian with an N. I don't like using legendaries. If anyone has ever fought me in Showdown or on Pixelmon, y'all know I don't like using legendaries. So legendaries to me is kind of just like, oh, it's a legendary, cool. I'm not gonna use it unless it's like, oh, maybe if we're allowed like one legendary, then maybe. Like there are legendaries that I really like, but I would still personally not use it. Dratini. He's cute. Blue Snake. Legendary doesn't mean necessarily strong. True. I've beaten full legendary without using much. Dragonair. Yeah. Alright. Y'all gonna about to hate me big time. Charizard. Dragonite, hella overrated. I'm gonna put it in D tier. Like I would use a Flareon over a Dragonite actually. I know a lot of people love Dragonite. I don't like it. 4 times weak to ice? Come on. I don't like the design of... Is this X, right? Mega Mewtwo X. And then I do kind of like Mega Mewtwo Y. Mewtwo, I would say, you know, same tier. Mew is S tier. Okay, Mew is just... It's just beautiful. Mew is cute. It's a cat. It's a beautiful little pink cat. I love Mew. And we finished Kanto! How dare you? Shedinja is great. We are like almost an hour in and we only finished one. This is getting really warm. Okay, we only finished one region. Chikorita, C tier. Is Mimikyu in this? Yes, Mimikyu is in this. Bayleaf, D tier. Mega blah blah blah. I don't even remember this person's name. Meg. What is the name of the final evolution of Chikorita? Meganium. Right. We got Cyndaquil, Snorlax, Mimikyu, and Gengar. Was that because I thought you were talking about the evolution of Golett. Typhlosion, while badass, just lost its cuteness, so not as high. Meganium. I see. Thank you. Tomorrow is going to be a Master Duel stream. Totodile is hella cute, especially in the anime. Yeah, let's put there. I do like Mimikyu. Gengar, I personally find is a little bit overrated. Feraligatr is strong. Don't get me wrong. Feraligatr is strong, but I would never use it. Just don't like it. Sentret is cute, but it's weak. Furret is just too cute, so high. Let's put it here. Yeah, that's right. I put Furret in front of Charizard. Hoot. Hoot. Noctowl is high, but I feel like Noctowl is high because of the anime. Ash had a shiny Noctowl, and because I saw the episode where Ash used Noctowl used Dream Eater. Hypnosis followed by Dream Eater on Gengar during a gym battle. I'm gonna tell you right now, the probability of landing those two abilities is hella weak. Hypnosis's hit rate is 60%, and they have to stay asleep. I think it's 60%. It's not viable. It's not viable. Back to bugs. Like, this is a slightly better, I guess. Spiders. That's neat. Not a fan of spiders. Crobat. I do like Crobat's design. Very solid. I call my Crobat Batman on Pokemon Go. We got Lantern and I don't remember. Dream Eater doesn't hit if it's not asleep, I think. Unless they changed it. Let me check. Dream Eater Pokemon. Dream Eater only works if target is asleep. Yeah. So it's a very bad combo. You know, the only reason why Ash made it that far was because you have Protagonist Halo. That's what we call it. Or Protagonist Armor, or whatever you call it. Plot Armor, right? Plot Armor. I personally think, okay, and this is not my own opinion. I know a lot of people share this opinion. He should have won in Pokemon XYZ, whatever that series is called. When he had Ash Greninja, that was when he should have won. Okay, you want to tell me that Greninja beats Sceptile and loses to Charizard? Granted, it is a Charizard X, but still, okay, you beat a grass type with a water type, and then you lose to a fire dragon type. Doesn't make much sense to me, in my opinion. I thought you were gonna split the grass per gen or is it per region? This is just everything, but judging by how much time, I would say I'm definitely willing to go, like, if people want to do trivia, we can always switch to trivia, but I want to, like, stop at, like, you know, like, a checkpoint. And since I've already started Gen 2, might as well. I don't remember the name of this little guy. Can someone tell me the name of this little guy? The one that evolves into Lantern. Is it Chincho? Or something? I think? Chinchou? Something like that. It's got a very strong ability, but I don't like the design of its evolution. It's got Volt Absorb or Water Absorb, something like that. Pichu, hell cute, definitely high up here. Pichu is one of the only ways that you can acquire Volt Tackle. You have to breed 2 Pikachus holding a light ball in one of them. And then you get Volt Tackle. Which is not a great move, but it is a signature move, and it's cool. I like it. Cleffa, baby Pokemon, I really just don't care that much. Pichu is an exception. I love how much base HP Lantern has. I would not know. Tierlist of bangable Pokemon. That will be a complete different list someday. Igglybuff, Igglypuff, Iggly something, Jigglypuff, Wigglytuff, Igglybuff? I think it's Igglybuff, right? Togepi. Togepi. Let's put a D tier. Togetic. Is it Togetic or is it Togetic? I do not like the design of this. Just such a tanky boy. Natsu and Zatu. Not much of a fan. Sheep. We got our Mareep. Mareep would be high here. We got Mareep evolves into, what's that Pokemon called? I am getting really bad at this. Mareep evolves into something, which evolves into Ampharos. Pink Sheep. What is the pink sheep's name? Someone help me out. I actually don't remember. Flappy, right. Right. Mega Ampharos is hella majestic. Love it. It's a dragon. It's got so much hair. Majestic. Regular Ampharos is not as majestic, but we'll still put it in like a C tier. Blossom. I would put it in D tier. Actually, I like Blossom more than Vileplume. Fluffy sounds like you would give. True. Meryl and Azumarill. Meryl, not really a fan. Azumarill, I do like. In before it had Fairy type, I already kind of liked it. After it had Fairy type, it is pretty nice. Sudowoodo is not a Grass type; it is a Rock type. Very troll Pokemon. Politoed, I like Politoed. Hoppip. Hoppip is cute. I like Hoppip. I'm so done with this list. Hoppip into something, into Jumpluff. I don't remember. Skiploom. Apom, it's a monkey, but you know, it's kind of cute. Sunkern, Sunflora, I don't have much opinion of them. I got Dragonfly. This is Zanma? Zanma? Yanma. I know my Pokemons. Yanma into Yanmega, right? Something like that. Wooper is cute. Quagsire. Wait, hold on. I need to move Wooper higher. Wooper is probably here. See, Quagsire has a really good typing. Quagsire has a really good typing. Water ground, only weak to grass. It is the OG Swampert. Espeon, high. I'd say high A tier. Or maybe B tier at this point. I don't want to overflood these. You know, S means something. Umbreon and Espeon should be side by side. These are, I put them as side by side, okay? They're side by side. Don't really feel too much about Murkrow. Not a huge fan of Slowking, honestly. I prefer Slowbro over Slowking any day. Misdreavus. Sure. Unknown. Don't really care. I really don't care about unknowns. Wow, Boppet. Girafarig. I think it's pretty cool as a design. Girafarig is pretty cool. Pineco and Fortress. I say Fortress. There are bug types. Bug and Bug Steel. I think Pineco is bug, right? Pure bug. Bug Steel is not a very good typing. Fortress does have a lot of moves, you know, like Stealth. I think it can learn Stealth Rocks, but it's got spikes, toxic spikes, and it's got rapid spin. So it's your entry, and it can also clear entry hazards. But 4 times weak to fire. Dunsparce. It's a very niche Pokemon. I don't really use it. I don't avoid it. Glycer. Mega Onyx. Don't like. It's actually, I like Mega Onyx more. Not a fan of regular Onyx. Mega Onyx? No. Wait. Gligar? Wait, so is Gligar into Glisser? Or is it Glisser into Gligar? Wait, Onyx evolves into... I'm missing the name. What's the name of Onyx's evolution? Steelix! I don't like Steelix. Mega Steelix is a little bit better, in my opinion. I just realized chat isn't on. Hold on, let me bring chat up. There we go. Boom. Snubble, not really a fan of Snubble. Not really a fan of Snubble's evolution. Don't care about the Quillfish? Is it called Quillfish? I feel like it's not called Quillfish. Or maybe it is called Quillfish. What's this Pokemon called? Is it called Quillfish? Scizor, overrated as hell. Both regular and Mega, not a fan of them. Shuckle's nice, I like Shuckle. Let's put Shuckle there. Heracross and Mega Heracross. Not really a fan. Actually, I like regular Heracross more than Mega Heracross. Weevil. Sneasel into Weavile. Sneasel, solid C. I do like Sneasel. Bears. We got Ursaring and Teddy Ursa. Not a fan of Teddy Ursa. Ursaring is cute. I do like Ursaring. No, Teddy Ursa. Weavile, thank you, Kia. I don't remember the name of this, but this is Mescargo. Slugma. Coming to me. It's slowly coming to me. Don't really care, to be honest. Snorunt. And, Pillow-swine. Crasola, the new form, the ghost form, which is kind of dark, but I do like it. Let's put this higher. Remoraid and Octillery, don't care as much. Delibird, it's Santa in a Pokemon, it's close enough. Mantike? I want to say Mantike, is that the name of the Pokemon? Mantike? Don't really care either. Mantine. Okay, so Mantike is the baby one, I think. Skarmory is a very annoying Pokemon to deal with. It has very high defense, I think. I think it's very high defense. Not sure if it's defense or special defense, but I just know it's very, very tanky. With spikes. Yeah, it's got spikes. Houndour, Houndoom, Mega Houndoom. Mega Houndoom. I can't say I'm a fan of these. Kingdra. There. C tier. Maybe B, but we'll see. Phanpy and Donphan. Porygon 2. Sawsbuck? No. I don't remember the name of this. What's the name of this Pokemon? Stantler, right? Yeah, not a fan of it. Smeargle, high A tier. Tyrogue, don't care, don't like. Hitmontop, Smoochum. Elekid. That kid's nice. Magby. Miltank. I found out what the Miltank shiny looks like and it's absolutely adorable. Chansey. Oh, this is Blissey. Right? Is this Blissey? Can't say I'm a fan of Blissey. Up. Fine. There. The 3 legendary doggos. Sure, let's do that. There we go. Yeah. Okay, let's do that. Larvitar. Larvitar is nice. Pupitar. I don't like Mega Tyranitar. Regular Tyranitar is aight. Lugia has to be around here. Otherwise Slam would kill me. Ho-Oh. I don't like Ho-Oh that much. Celebi is fine. But, like, there's a lot more other Pokemons I would rather use than having Celebi on my team. Alright, we are in Hoenn now. Wow. We kind of gunned through Johto. But now we are on Hoenn, and that is, my decision making is like League. This is my tier list, right? I'm allowed to have my own opinions. Am I wrong? Trico or Treco. I would put it in C tier. You can't have your own opinions. Not allowed. Mega Sceptile is a very nice design. Regular Sceptile is good. It's good, but not you know, not mega. Torchic, love Torchic. Combuskin. I remember when I first played and Combuskin, the evolution of Combuskin learning Double Kick helped me in the Rock Gym in Hoenn. So Combuskin was pretty effective for me. Blaziken. Mega Blaziken. Mudkip is very, very good. Very, very good. Not a fan of the design, but I just realized how much I care about how cute a Pokemon is. Gen 3 Fire Starter is higher always. I'm out. What do you mean? What do you mean? Blaziken is so overrated. I like Blaziken over Charizard by far, but Blaziken is still overrated. Ever since Blaziken moving on, you get so many firefighting starters. Blaziken is good, but Swampert is better. Swampert only has one weakness because it has the same type that Quagsire has, water ground. It's only weak to grass, but you can teach it Ice Beam, which can deal with any grass that you have to deal with. Right? Like, it's very, very good. Puchiana and Mightyena, don't really care much about them. Zigzagoon, Galarian Zigzagoon, also known as the Kiss Zigzagoon. I really like how they revamped Zigzagoon. It's cute, it's cute. Regular Zigzagoon is not as cute in my opinion, so we're gonna put it in D tier. Can't say I'm a fan of Lanoons though. So we're gonna put them there. I'm coming soon. Wait, what? We got Wurmple. It's a bug. I don't really think too much about it. It's kind of cute, but that's about it. Lates. Beautifly. Beautifly is pretty. It's late. Or it's Oh, it's coming soon. I see. Cascoon and one of them's Cascoon. I don't know. I know. Lotado. I'm probably gonna stop at Gen 3. I don't know. Or does everyone want me to finish the complete list? Because we are not even halfway through. What have I done? Ludicolo. C dot. Nuzleaf. And whatever that Tengu looking Pokemon. C dot into Nuzleaf into... I don't remember the name of this. Shiftry. Tailo is aight. Swallow has high evade, but it's still aight. Wingle's cute. Pelipiper, not so much. It lost the cuteness. Ralts, I would put Ralts in like a C tier. Actually, D tier, high D. Curlia would be C tier. Gardevoir, C tier. Oh man, guys. I'm allowed to have opinions, okay? Mega Gardevoir, D tier. And we got the Bug Water, Surskit, and Masquerain or something. Just know your Ralt's opinion is wrong. I'm allowed to have opinions. I'm allowed to have opinions. Why you bully me? For those that don't know, Breloom is my favorite fighting type. Not really a fan of the Slackhoff line. Very biased towards the Nincada line. Nincada. Ninjask is definitely an A tier for me. Shedinja is more of a B tier. Don't really care about the Whismur. I just don't like these Pokemon. Nosepass is... I don't really like Nosepass. Skitty is aight. Like, it's workable, you know? It's workable. Delcatty, and then we got... Mega... What's his name? The name is, Ghost Dark type. Sableye, right. I would put Sableye in D, and Mega Sableye in... You know what? Fine. We're pushing this up. We're gonna put that there, and then we're gonna push this up. There. There. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Mawile and Mega Mawile. I like Mawile more. A little bit more. Aeron is cute, hella cute. Don't like the evolutions. In fact, I would actually put them like in here, all in here. Medicham is meh. Mega Medicham, Medicham, Meditite and Medicham. Meditite, Medicham, Mega Medicham. Electrike, really don't like Mega Mana Trick. Plusle and Minun. They're like the Gen 3 Pikachus. They're not very good though. They're really not very good. Not a fan of the two bugs. We got Roserade. Roserade is... it's alright. I really don't like that design. This one's kind of better. Still in the same category. I would do so many battles with Plusle and Minun just because, yeah, that is a perfect logical. This is a perfect logical reason to do that. We got Whalmer, Whale Lord. Don't like the design of Whalmer. Whale Lord is kind of cool. Whale Lord is cool. I'm gonna put it in C tier. Numel is a B tier Pokemon for me. I like Numel, but I don't like Numel's evolutions. I would say D, and then D tier as well. And then we got Torkoal. Torkoal is not very special. Really, to me, it feels kind of meh. Spoink. I would put Spoink in C tier, kind of cute. And Spoink's evolution is weird. And I don't even know the name. I feel like if I don't know the name, if I don't like the Pokemon, I don't really try and remember the name. What does Spoink evolve into? What is Grumpig, right? Grumpig, I think. Spinda is going to be a B tier for me. Trapinch is weird. It's not great. Vibrava. Flygon is definitely high up there. I like Flygon. Cute dragon. Cacnea and Cacturn. Don't really care all that much. Swablu. I don't really like the design of Swablu, but I do like Altair. Altair is nice. But Mega Altair is just fluffy. Is nice. Zangoose and Viper. They're cool, I guess. And then we got Lunatone and Solrock. Should have been rock type. They're not rock types, I think. They're just psychic types. Barboach and Whiscash. Not a fan. Their typing is great, but don't like the design. Corphish and Crawdaunt. Fish and Crawdaunt. Claydol. I'm not a huge fan of Claydol. Baltoy. Not a huge fan of Baltoy, but Claydol has won me a lot, so slightly better. And then we got the fossils. Don't care. I guess creatively can go a little higher. Phoebus. Can't say I like this Pokemon. Melodic is high though. Let's put there. And we got the weather Pokemon. I don't remember the name. What is the name of the weather Pokemon? I don't remember the name of this. Anyways. Clycelion. Shuppet. Shuppet can be in D tier. Bandnet, Mega Bandnet. Actually, Mega Bandit's pretty cool. And then we got Dusclops and Duskull. Tropius, I don't like Tropius. I'll put it in... I can't say I like Tropius. At one point I did spam Tropius a lot because it knew Fly. But I just don't really like the design of Tropius all that much. Chinchou, I think. No, Chingling? I don't remember the name of this psychic type. Is aight. Mega Absol is pretty cool. And Absol is the OG edgy Pokemon. Any new S tiers? Breloom. I don't know when you left. Baby Pokemon. There should just be a tier for baby Pokemon. I really don't feel much. Snorunt is I don't really like Snorunt. And I don't really like Gali. I do like Frolas though. Frolas is nice. But Frolas is Gen 4, so we don't really deal with that right now. Spheal. Spheal is fine. I think Spheal can be in D tier, but like it just gets not so good looking. There's not a lot of really cool looking ice Pokemon in the early games. Clamperl, Huntail, and Gorbis. I guess they're all the same to me. Relicanth, hard to get Pokemon. Got some nice cool ability called Rockhead. Does not take recoil damage, so that's pretty cool. Love this, don't like. Blue Yoshi. Hella overrated in my opinion. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good night, Superboy. I'm not a fan of Salamence. Good luck in class. Beldum. Beldum is in the same boat as these. I feel like they're very overrated. Like, yeah, like, you can use them, but like, I don't like them very much. Oh. Alright, we got Reggie Rock, Reggie Ice, Reggie Steel. Can't say I'm a fan of Reggie Rock. Reggie Ice. Yeah, I kind of like Reggie Ice. Reggie Steel is aight. We got the Mega Latios Latias and Latios Latias. Yeah, sure. I can put Latias in D. Actually, I'll put Latios in D and Latias in C. I actually like Latias more than Latios. The Megas were unnecessary in my opinion. Kyogre, Groudon were legendaries that I liked a lot. They had really, really good abilities. Put it in B tier. Kyogre and Groudon. Don't really like the fancy Rayquaza that much. Regular Rayquaza is solid. I'll put it in the same tier as these. The Weather Trio, you know, they're the same tier for me. I don't see the primals. I'm assuming they don't have them. Jirachi is going to be same. Honestly, Gen 3 nailed the legendaries. And then we have the Oxys, which is, in my opinion, not as good. And now we're down to Gen 4. Should I continue with Gen 4? Or should I save Gen 4 for another day? Oh, this is so much Pokemon. Oh, it's actually not that much. We could do this. We can do this. We can do this. Unless, okay, who here wants to do trivia? I need a show of hands. If anyone wants trivia, we can do trivia. If not, we're just gonna keep going. All right. Oh, why did I do this to myself? You know, Gen 4 doesn't actually have that much Pokemon. If you look at it from here, it's not that many. It's got 9 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 rows. It's not that bad. Not that bad. Not that bad. Turtwig, Grove, something, and then the grass ground. And then we got the monkeys, Chimchar, Monferno, and Infernape. This was the second firefighting starter. Hiplup, Piplup, Piplup, and then Primplup. Not really a fan of Primplup. Empoleon. There. Starly is, yeah, you know what? Staraptor is fine. It's good as a Pokemon, but I don't really like it all that much. Bidoof is fine. Don't really like Bibarel though. Kricketune. Don't really care much. Shinx. And Luxray. The middle evolution, not so much. Badoo. Baby Pokemon. Roser Raid. Don't really care. Don't really care about the fossils. Don't really like these Burmese. I like that a little bit more. It's cooler. Combee and Vespiquen. Hachirasu. It's a squirrel Pikachu. And then we got Tails. Weasel. And Floatzel. Cherubi, I think. And then we got Cherim Shy and Cherim Sunny. Shellos. And then the evolved form. These are also water ground types. He's kind of cute. Ambipom, just it lost its cuteness from Apom, so I can't say I'm a fan of that. Drifloon, meh, and meh. Lopunny, Baneri, Mega Lopunny. I don't really like Mega. Lopunny is kind of cute though. What's that? Miss Magius. Honchkrow, not a fan. Perugly and I don't remember the name. There's just so many different cat Pokemons that you can choose from that you don't really need that many. The two skunk Pokemons, Bronzor, Bronzegong, and then the baby Pokemon of Sudowoodo, Mr. Mime, Chansey. Chatot is kind of cool. Spiritomb, Gibble, the middle evolution, and then Garchomp. Oh, I guess Garchomp can be in C tier since they're, in my opinion, Garchomp's kind of like a different tier. Mega Garchomp, I feel like it wasn't really needed. Yeah, it wasn't really needed. Munchlax, I kind of like Munchlax. Riolu is high B tier. Mega Lucario, I don't know how I feel about that. Lucario, put that in A tier. Hippos, I don't know the names anymore. Skorupi and Drapini, I think. And then the two toxic fighting frogs. Carnivine, Luminion, and the other fish. Now we have Mantike. Mantike is Snover, Abomasnow, Mega Abomasnow, Weavile, I really don't like this design. Like, it's cool that they gave those Pokemon an extra evolution, but some of these are just, actually most of these are kind of questionable in my opinion. Yanmega, I like Leafeon. Glaceon is currently my favorite evolution. This is Gligar, I think. Yeah, I'll put it in the front. We got a Mamoswine. Porygon Z. Gallade, Mega Gallade and Gallade. I feel like Gallade didn't really need a Mega. It's kind of how I feel about Garchomp. Don't really like the evolution of Nosepass, Dusknoir, Brolas, B tier. Rotom, it's kind of cool when you can transfer into appliances. The Lake Guardians, they're okay, I guess. A Zelf, Mesprit, and something. I don't know. And then we got Dialga and Palkia. Just put them like beside each other. Heatran, don't like the design. Regigigas, I can put these side by side. Void, Space, Time. And then we got Cresselia, the Moon, Phanpy, and Manaphy, I think. Dialga? Isn't Dialga like diamond? I don't know. No one really knows. Is there a real correct way to pronounce Pokemon when everything's a name? That dark, edgy Pokemon. What's his name? Darkrai. And then we got Shymin and Skyform. Shaman? Arceus. I once beat someone on Showdown that was running 6 Arceuses. Fun stuff, fun stuff. Victini, don't care, honestly. I'm getting really, really tired. Why do I do this to myself? Can I, like, save this and come back in the future? Oh. 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 This is way too much information to process. So much regret. So much regret. Can I stop? I'm gonna stop here. It's just too much. Like, that was... Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 30 more rows of Pokemon. I don't want to do this anymore. Oh. We'll save this for another day. We'll save this for another day. Let's switch over to Jackbox. And there we go. Okay, I'm gonna change to Jackbox. Oh. Just making sure. You'll join after this era. Cool, cool, cool. You know what? We'll do one more. We'll do one more gen. 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 Boom. Okay. Just chatting. Okay. We're doing one more generation. We're gonna do one more generation, and then we're gonna do Jackbox. Snivy, don't really care. Don't really care. Don't really care. Don't. Ignite. T-Pig. and then Ignite, and then Embor. I do like Embor actually. Like, I can't like right click and move something somewhere. Like, I feel like it's not a very... It's just so much scrolling. And I'm gonna start like forgetting names because I haven't played them at this point to know their names that well. It's Samurott, I think that's the name. Don't like. Birdier. Something. Dark type, and then Purloin. And we got the monkeys. Like, I wish I could, like... There's just too much. There's just so much. Some of these are nice. No, I found that. There we go. Moona or something? And I don't know these. And then the actual pigeons. On Faisanti? I don't know. Don't really care. Blitzel, I think. Roggenrola? Roggenrola? Very, very annoying in very annoying in Pixelmon. Gigalith is pretty cool though. I like Gigalith. Swoobat, Woobat, Drillbur, Excadrill. Mega Audino and Audino. Every time I see Audino, I think of Arduino. This one's fine, but I really don't like the evolutions. Seismic Toad. Don't like him. Sock and Throw. Don't like him. The Waddle. It's evolution's fine. Levani, I think. Bug. Kinda cooler Bug. Still a Bug though, so not very high. Cottony. Whimscott. Petitlil. And then we got the Lilligant or something. Barraskewda? No? No. I don't know. Maybe. The Cookie Dials. Darumaka. Don't like Darumakas. This one's kind of borderline passable. The Cactus Pokemon. Dwebble is aight. I don't remember. Cressel. I almost said croissant. Scraggy and its evolution. The biblically accurate angel. Yamask. The regular one and the Galarian one. Cafigarous. You know what? Sea turtles are not bad. Tortuga, I think that's what it's called. Archaeoptops or something. Trubbish. And Garbodor. Not really a fan of Garbodor. Zoroa and Zoroark. There's so many rows to go. Oh, this is so brutal. It's getting cold again. Mencino. Wait, did that not go through? Wait, where did it go? Where did the evolution of Mencino go? Oh, over here. Gaullith? Not a fan. I feel like so much Pokemon are under the, yeah, kind of like it, but not really, you know? Ducklet, Savon or something. Ice Cream, Vanillite, Vanillux. Deerlings. I just don't really care. I'm tired, Panda. Like, everything is just, I don't like. When you are like 2 hours in, everything you just don't like. You just don't like anything at this point. I'm not a huge fan of Deerling. These are, okay, left and right is not accurate. Up and down is somewhat accurate. Emolga is C tier. I like Emolga. It's just too much, you know? I mean we can do trivia. I'm just waiting for more people for trivia. Also my hands are kind of getting sore from going up and down, scroll. Fungus and Amoongus. Brillish. I kind of like Brillish. And the two Jellicents. Don't really care about the Jellicents. Alola Mola. Wait, where did I drop my... You can middle mouse and drag instead. Like that. Galvantula. Can't say I'm a huge fan of spiders. Yeah, but I can't, like, you see, if I hold, I can't. I have to, like, there's nothing I can do to, yeah, I have to manually, going up and down, like, sure. But, like, having to, maybe that's why everything is an I don't like, because I don't have to track very far. Or if I liked more Pokemon, this wouldn't really be a problem. Should have found one for just Hoenn. I've already gotten this far. There's no point. Might as well finish it. Here, this one's for you. Pancham B tier. Pangoro. I don't actually like Pangoro. I don't like Pangoro. I just. You rake that personally. Okay, fine. There. Is that better? I pushed it by a tier. Like, I kind of just want to slam my face on my keyboard right now. There's so much Pokemon. Formantis S tier. Alright, we're gonna... Stop at Chespin? Okay, alright, we're power throughing. Boring design. Boring design. Boring design. Actually, this is slightly better. We'll push this up. I don't like these. Litwick is kind of cute. Chandelier. I like this as well. Axew, overrated. I don't like it. Haxorus. The final evolution is pretty cool. But the early evolution is meh. Cubchoo is cute. I like Cubchoo. Beartick is kind of like the whole Ursaring. I don't like Ursaring. I don't like Beartick. Crygonal is kind of cool. Because it's ice. Get it? That was a really bad joke. Don't like these. I actually really don't like these. Mienfoo is kind of cute. And then Mienshao is kind of ugly. It's by my personal overall how much I like them. It could be by looks, it could be by useful, it could be by my personal bond with them. Like, for example, like certain Pokemon are in certain locations because of what they mean to me, and it doesn't have to be about a game. It doesn't have to be about, you know, doesn't have to be about strength. Numel. Hey, Breloom is my favorite fighting type. It's gotta be S tier. Numel would not be here if it wasn't for certain people, you know, yeah. Why is the music stopping there? But genuinely, anything that is an S, A, B, C are things that I like. Okay, like more so B and A and S. Like these are very, very solid for me. Actually, I think this one's I. I'm pushing this one down. I'm also pushing Shroomish down. Shroomish evolves into Breloom, but that doesn't make Shroomish great. It just makes Shroomish necessary, but it's not great, you know? I'm gonna make this a little bit on the louder side. There. Don't like this Pokemon. I think it's overrated. Golett, kinda cute. Alright, we are stopping on Chespin, so I need to go through 2 rows. I don't know the name of this, but it's aight. The dark type, dark steel type, and then the evolution is by Sharp, B Sharp. I don't like it. Don't like Poniard. Oh yeah, Poniard into B Sharp, right. And then this is Rowlet, I think, and I think Rowlet's okay. Into Bravery. Bravery is pretty cool. I can give Bravery a little higher. Yeah, I know. Don't like Mandibuzz or the baby Mandibuzz. Heatmore is kind of weird. Durant. I'll give that Durant there. I'm not a huge fan of Dino. The final evolution's not bad though. Alright, thanks for stopping by, Panda. We're almost there. Volcarona. Don't really care. Don't really like. It's a bird. I like that bird. Don't really like. Reshiram and Zekrom. Don't really like. Don't really like. Really don't like. Nah, I don't like them. Melodia, Meloda, the music Pokemon. And then Genesect. Okay, yeah. Alright, we'll do this another time. Yeah, we'll do that another time. Let's switch over. Jackbox. Okay. So, let's do some Jackbox. Boom. Is the audio supposed to only come from the right side? I'm gonna put on some music real quick. I'm not super sure. We'll give it to another minute for people wandering around, seeing if they want to join in. Hello.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hi.
My hand's really tired from a bunch of scrolling.
My hands are really tired from playing Tristana.
Fair. How's everyone doing tonight?
Amazing.
Pretty good. You?
I'm alive.
You should get some sleep.
I'm working on it. Alright, let's start. Y'all ready for this?
It's just 4. Okay.
I mean, it doesn't seem like there's anyone else, but maybe more people will tag along after the first round.
It's a Tuesday. I'm not too surprised.
True. It do be like that sometime.
Past prime time.
The local residents familiar with the abandoned building's history know it simply as the Murder Hotel.
I'm gonna skip the tutorial.
This is your wake-up call. Prepare to die. Welcome to Trivia Murder Party. Your free spa weekend was a lie, luring you into this deadly trivia game. Only one of you will survive. But hey, it's still better than just sitting in your hotel room and watching cable news. Yeah, I went there. Okay, first question. What has less than a day to reproduce before they die? Use your device to
I'm
answer
gonna come
the
back
question.
later. See you guys.
Bye. Is
And
this
the
a,
correct answer is,
does this work
who
as a
got the
pickup
question
line?
right?
Hey, girl.
If you,
Which
I only
leads
have
you
one
to
minute before I
Come
die.
with me.
If you
And
were
here are
me,
your
I
bags.
probably would.
Welcome to room 105. This one's just about me giving you
You'll
a
be
gift.
fine. You'll be fine.
Oh, gifts. I
It's a
love gifts.
complimentary family
Give me
nightmare
all
in a
the gifts.
box.
You'll be fine.
Pick a box and keep what's...
I have picked a gift.
Ooh. Okay, you're
it's
not
one of
fine.
Uncle Clive's old time bombs. You'll have to answer questions a lot faster now to keep from blowing up. I should really keep better track of where he's hitting all those bombs.
Oh. It's not
This
easy.
elevator's a real death trap. For real, though.
How
Let's
long
keep
does it
moving.
persist? The rest of the game?
Who
Yeah.
was Ozymandias, King of Kings?
You just gotta be fast. Ozymandias. It does not sound.
Who picked
Oof.
this?
Wow. Good for
The
you.
rest of you, I want to show you something.
Did you know?
Oh, I was the only one who got it?
Did
yeah,
you
of
know?
course.
Oh, of course. It makes sense. It makes
Bonjour!
sense. Makes sense
Welcome
that you
back
know.
to the killing room.
The history questions, I have to get it.
Hopefully you can defend yourself from ESP.
I love
Type
this
in
game.
an answer that fits this category. Everyone else will answer too.
Oh no.
And if anyone matches you, you die.
Oh no.
And I do mean anyone.
I feel like I think
Now,
I'm fine. I
let's see
think
if
I'm
there
fine.
are any matches.
No! Can you
So
not?
predictable, so fatal.
Oh!
I was gonna type Joey. And I was like, I think that's too easy. Someone's gonna guess Joey.
I just typed in Chandler because it's the longest name.
We're not done with you yet.
And I typed
This
BB because
isn't
no
the
one
end
knows
of
how
your
to spell.
participation. Keep
I
playing,
was-
and you
I
just
actually-
might steal
I wrote
someone
BB
else's life
first,
force
and
and
then I
win the
crossed it
game.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, I feel like I could have lived.
Let's try another
Can't
one.
believe you guessed
What does
Chandler.
Matt Damon's character grow on Mars in The Martian?
I have yet to watch it. We should watch it.
I like it.
Hmm?
I like it. Good movie.
You like the movie?
Who picked this? Which leaves only you. It's time.
Doppel. Oh, Goo, you haven't watched it?
Nope.
Pegs!
We need to make sure we schedule
You're
movie
going to
night when
drop
you're
down
available.
this board and try to avoid
Cool,
the
do you
death
like
zones.
pegging?
You know what? We need some death
No,
zones.
because it means I'm gonna die.
Hey, you.
Family friendly
pick the
stream,
landing
come on,
spots
man.
that kill.
Ooh,
Okay.
that's kind of risky actually.
Let the games begin. Pick a spot to drop from.
Do you not remember, Vlad,
Ooh,
during
this is so
the
exciting.
last stream of 2022, the stream is going to be more mature.
Why do you do this to me, Gravity?
How mature?
I'm
I
considering
really hope that
turning
bomb
on
goes
the
off
18
eventually.
plus.
What can I say?
Oh.
I'm a completionist.
I have a challenge for you then.
Oh, what's your challenge?
You have to make me feel uncomfortable.
Right now?
No, during.
Vaporeon
We're
levels of
here.
mature.
When one player is
Before-
left alive, we'll go to the
Wait, I
final
don't think he
round.
understands that
Next
reference.
question.
Vaporeon's kinda.
Which book was written
Kinda
by my
spicy,
homeboy?
dude.
Wait, do you know
Oh
about
my
the
god,
Vaporeon?
no. Stop. You just unlocked a terrible memory.
Hey,
I actually
Vlad,
don't know the answer to this question.
did you know that in terms of all water type Pokemon, Vaporeon is the best for human reproduction compatibility?
Who picked
Sounds reasonable.
this? Everyone is wrong. Time for consequences.
Oh, we all wrong.
Yeah.
I knew it was not Eastern Front because I read that one, but the rest of them.
I'ma kill
I
you
hope
all.
you're good with instructions. Follow as many rules as you can before time runs out. The player who follows the fewest rules correctly
this is my
dies.
least favorite game.
The rules are already on your device. Go, go!
Oh, I'm not playing? I'm not playing. Oh, well. Unfortunately, I don't get to murder anybody.
It may not look like it, but this is totally different than the math minigame. Rule time is coming to an end.
Oh no. Oh no, Firelight.
Oh, that's it.
I was pretty clear about what would happen if you didn't follow the rules.
I'm sorry, Firelight.
You have 6 seconds
Let's
to
keep
answer
moving.
questions. You're not gonna last very long.
Who was chasing Jean Valjean in Les Miserables?
I don't know the answer to this one.
I don't know, but I can make an educated guess.
Who picked this?
My educated guess was incorrect.
The rest of you who are still alive, follow me.
I vaguely remember who Jean Valjean is, but I don't remember who's chasing him.
Let's do a spooky handwriting test. Oh, hey, look! The ghost of my Aunt Mildred is writing on this mirror. Pay attention to her unique handwriting. Now, Aunt Mildred is going to write a different word. But so will all the safe players. Draw a word on the mirror, and maybe you'll trick someone into thinking it's Aunt Mildred's. Go ahead and start writing. Watch closely. One of these new words will be a word written by Aunt Mildred's ghost.
Oh. I need to relog, I think.
So many convincing words to choose from. Now, type the word that Aunt Mildred wrote, or you die. Would the real Aunt Mildred please stand up?
Aww, I didn't fool anybody.
Aw, you got it. Stupid mirror game. Unbelievable. Let's try another one. Through which of these countries does the Amazon River flow?
Oof. Oh, that was...
Oh, I can't answer.
anticlimactic.
I can't answer.
It's okay.
That bomb blew up, but we gotta keep moving with the game. Who picked
Brazil.
I don't like seeing that.
Wait.
And get back in here, you silly goose.
Yeah, I was like, where'd you go?
Let's keep moving.
No, I exploded.
I know.
Besides a
I had
bloody
1 second to
surprise,
answer, I did not
why would
answer.
I be seeing red in a black forest cake?
Easy. Easy question. This is a very easy question for me.
Who picked this? Only a ghost got it wrong. Everyone again? You all need to be taught a lesson.
Wait.
Congratulations! You've been entered in my scratch ticket giveaway.
Cool. You'll be fine.
Scratch and find $3 to live. If you keep scratching, I'll give you cash for
Wait,
every
why was I
$sign
chosen
you
random?
find.
Because no one else died?
But if you scratch
Yeah.
off even
Well, you're the
one
only person
soul,
left too.
you die.
Oh, bullshit.
Yep. It is.
Get to scratching.
It is fate. Oh.
Why stop now?
Oh. Okay, you don't have to scratch anymore.
The contest is almost over. Didn't want to risk it?
Ooh.
How boring. When there isn't a big death payoff, I start to feel like scratch tickets are a big rip-off.
Congrats on surviving.
Only one of you is still alive. You know what that means.
Congratulations on being alive, but will you make it to the end?
I don't know. Probably not.
Congrats on making it here alive. But can you escape? I'm going to give you a category. Types of poems. Tap each answer that fits the category and then press let's see the right answers. You advance 1 space for every correct answer. You're a little bit closer to escaping. But get this, all ghosts get to play too. If a ghost catches you, they'll steal your life force. Then they can try to escape and win the game. Here's everyone's next question.
Stay far away, guys.
And ghosts get a third choice to help them catch up to you.
We've got this. Oh. Wow.
Former British colonies.
This is really not my area of expertise.
Would it make you feel better if I don't remember?
Launched online before 2000.
A tad bit. Oh, what?
Uh-oh, here comes trouble.
Oh,
Are you afraid of the dark? Divisible by 7. Time is almost up.
oh, I didn't do the middle one fast enough.
You cannot
Yes!
run that ghost forever.
2 plus 2 is 4.
Roman numerals.
I'm surprised you got that wrong though.
Huh.
Countries bordering the Indian Ocean.
My geography is very, very questionable. Oh, that was bad.
That ghost can smell your life force.
Oh,
Squash.
I feel like I'm gonna get eliminated. Oh, okay, maybe
I'm
not.
going too easy on you.
Oh, steal.
Killed your friend. Better get away fast. marine mammals.
Cool, it's gonna
Not
be
so
close.
fast. You need a perfect answer for your final escape. And that includes the third answer choice now, too.
Ooh. Ooh.
You have to get all the right answers to escape.
Light force swap? Not yet. Oh, this is so intense.
Over
Okay, no, that's not fair. That is not fair. That's not fair.
time is
Wait,
almost up.
I don't play Overwatch.
Oh right, Overwatch does have an Ash.
Yeah. Victorious.
Play of the game. Congratulations.
GG.
Vlad, you are the first person this year to win a giveaway point.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're running it this year as well?
I'm running it this year, and today is the first one, so you have 1 point.
Snap. Are you just doing run round today? Or it depends on how many people want to play?
I'm willing to go maybe 1 or 2 depending on how much people are here.
Okay.
I gotta go to bed.
Thanks for playing,
cool.
Ghoul. Have a good night.
Good night.
Is Trivial someone in the viewer, or is that Firelight? We'll give it 2 minutes. I understand that it's a Tuesday. People are probably asleep / busy. You know, last night I was looking at I was looking at housing prices in BC. It's rough. It's rough.
To buy or to rent?
Hmm?
To buy or to rent?
To buy.
See.
I don't really want to rent right now, just because when you rent, you can rent for 10, 20 years, but that place will never be yours. Rent is too... There's always a risk involved, you know? What if they break the contract? I mean, you benefit from people breaking contracts, but you still have to look for a place to stay. Something like that. If anyone in the audience would like to join in, feel free to do so. We are starting in 1 minute. It probably makes more sense if my camera was on the right side, looking left. That makes a little bit more sense. Alright, well, it is time. Good luck, I guess.
Alright.
The local residents familiar with the abandoned building's history know it simply as the Murder Hotel.
This is your wake-up call. Prepare to die. Welcome to Trivia Murder Party. I flooded the roads myself to strand you here in a fight for your life. Only one of you will survive. The rest of you will die. Was that clear? I'm trying to be a better communicator. Alright, first question. What golf term means the same thing as a double birdie? Use your device to answer the question.
Ha.
I know what it's not.
And the correct answer is... You
What?
got the question right.
An eagle is a double birdie?
The rest of you...
I honestly thought it
time.
was not 3 or 4.
Welcome to room 105. This is my tattoo parlor. Give me a new
Wait, is
tattoo
this-
by drawing on your
Oh.
device.
Hmm.
Yeah. Oh. Oh. My God. Yeah. Oh. 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 I kind of feel dangerous now. I mean, more dangerous. Now vote for your favorite design. The
Oh,
artist with the
no.
fewest votes will die.
Why?
I don't know. I feel like it's an instant kill. There's no getting away with this.
What did we decide?
You think mine's better?
Well, at least tattoos aren't permanent. What?
It's not
They
about what
are?
I think. It's
I
about
think it's
what
pretty
the
clear
third
what I
person
have to do
thinks.
now.
Come on, fine.
Thank you, whoever you are. I appreciate you choosing the heart.
Don't worry. You're a ghost now, but you have options. Keep playing and you just might steal someone else's life force and win the game. Let's try another one. What sushi dish traditionally contains eel?
I'm 50-50 actually.
Who picked this?
Okay, I was wrong. I was wrong.
One of you is still alive. I want to show you something. Welcome to room 227. It's time to bring out the chalices. I've given each safe player a poison pellet.
Oh
Pick a chalice
no.
to drop your poison in.
I believe.
Now it's your turn
I
to
believe.
play.
I believe. I
Pick a
believe.
chalice to drink from.
I believe. I
This
believe.
poison, like all poison, will kill you, so
I
choose
believe.
carefully. Now let's see what you drank.
No, are you serious?
This is why I love this game. Sometimes people get
Oh.
poisoned.
Feels bad. Wait, I just realized if I put my camera here, I end up hiding the code. Oh, it's slightly better.
Let's keep moving. What figure skating move involves spinning your partner by the arm while they're low and parallel to the ice?
Hmm.
Who picked this?
I kind of wanted to pick that.
Everyone is wrong. Come with me.
Like, the last question's answer was 4.
I'm going to give you a chance to password protect your life. Enter a real 4-letter word with your device. Don't make it easy. If someone cracks your password, you die. Now everyone else will try to crack the password. As a team, guess the password on your device. You get a clue if your guess has a letter in the right spot. If anyone figures out the password before time runs out, I will reward you all. Don't be greedy about what letters you figured out. Let everyone know.
Where's the K?
Ooh, you got hacked, son.
Everybody dies. Some just need a little help.
Ah, crap. You all died too early.
Everybody
Bummer.
dies.
I gotta get more sleep because I don't know what the hell just happened. Let's try this again, I guess. It's time for the next question. My criminal profile says I'm reserved, a perfectionist, and emotionally detached. Aw, that's really sweet. Which of these could be my Myers-Briggs personality type?
Oh my gosh.
Who picked this? Everyone is wrong. Time for consequences.
Will they survive?
Yay!
Twice
I
in a row.
love using Cousin Aloysius's magic props. Pick a space inside the box to hide.
Hey, Arrow, you know what to do, right?
When this was used in magic
I
shows,
do.
there were safeguards
Do you?
inside to prevent injury.
You know what to do.
Any good magic trick needs some helpful volunteers. I'm giving you a very sharp sword. On your device, choose magic.
Oh!
You just can't stay
Brutal.
alive, and I can't
High
keep
five,
bringing you
Arrow.
back.
High five.
So, it's over.
Wait, did the game just end? That was so unfortunate.
Okay. I
Alright.
think we're done.
Yeah, I don't think there's anyone that wants to join, but I will keep the lobby open for like 2 minutes. If anyone joins, we'll play. If not, then we can wrap it up. Oh, Trivial's back. Doesn't seem like anyone else is joining. Should we just play this last round and wrap it up? Alright, let's go. Last round. The look.
This is your wake-up call. Prepare to die. Welcome to Trivia Murder Party. This isn't an ice cream lovers convention after all, but a game of dire consequences.
Good luck to everybody.
Only one of you will survive. and me all survive as well. Humble brag. Okay, first question. How many strings do most violins have? Use your device to answer the question. And the correct answer is...
Oh,
Who got the question right?
I second guessed
The
myself.
rest of you, I want to show you something. Welcome
In
to
some
the killing room.
art, Jin plays the violin.
It's the mind meld. Type
Right,
in
okay,
an answer
okay,
that fits this category. Everyone else will answer too. And if anyone matches you,
No
you
way,
die,
right? It's 1 in 7?
including any potential mind readers.
Oh my gosh.
Now, let's see if there are any matches.
No
No matches? But I wanted to believe.
Okay, we're still alive. We're still alive. We're still alive.
I probably should have set this whole game up on the first floor now that I think about it. Well, you live and you learn. Let's try another one. Which of these is a style of mustache?
I mustache you a question.
Who picked this?
How? How?
Which leaves only
How do
you.
y'all know?
Come with me.
I don't
Welcome
wanna
back to the killing
die.
room. Are you ready to fall? In love with my new minigame? You're going to drop down this board and try to avoid the death zones. Someone needs to pick which slots are death zones. Go ahead, everyone else. Choose a slot to make it no bueno. Okay,
Yikes.
let the games begin. Pick a spot to drop from. I'm sure everything will... Yay! Physics!
Okay.
I should rename them disappointment zones.
Oh, next time.
I got money.
Let's keep moving. So, I'm trying to put my face onto a picture of a shirtless Hugh Jackman, and I'm wondering... What does the Photoshop sponge tool do?
I should know this, but I don't.
I have no idea.
Who picked this?
Okay, okay.
That's no fun.
Okay.
Oh, I guessed right.
Let's try another one. Hey, does anyone know an effective method for getting brain tissue out of a polyester ski mask? I'm asking for a friend. Brain tissue is made out of gray matter, and what other type of matter?
Huh?
I've never heard of this
I have
before.
no idea.
This.
You got it right though.
The rest of you, follow me.
What is this?
Donation time. You each get $500. Give some of that money to your friend. The person who ends up with the most money will die. But there's a catch. If one of you ends up with $800 or more, I'll kill the other one instead. Begin. Time for a credit check.
Oh!
Struck down by the almighty dollar.
Close, close, close. Sorry.
You're not going anywhere. You're a ghost now. Keep playing and you just might steal someone else's life force and win the game. We're here. When one player is left alive, we'll go to the final round. Next question. If I add sugar and cinnamon to my pickling process, what kind of pickle am I making?
Huh?
I'm gonna guess.
Who picked this?
Okay. Because,
Which
as
leaves
far as
only
I
you.
know, sour
It's
and
time.
dill are not sugar and cinnamon.
Time
Yeah.
to be
Oh.
subjected to the loser wheel.
I feel like you're gonna die here.
Spin it. It's fun. What's more fun than watching spinning? I
Oh!
hate that happened,
Yo!
but I have to honor the wheel.
Wow. Wow, wow. I'm impressed. Caught
Think
on
never-
screen.
I've never had to play this. I think it's the first time.
Let's keep moving.
Wow, I'm so impressed,
My
actually.
Uncle Jeffrey got an autoplasty because of his giant what? Who picked
Oh.
this?
I was gonna guess that.
One of you is still alive. Come with me.
Yeah.
Oh no.
This one should be easy.
No.
Follow as many rules as you can before time runs out. Everyone else is playing too. If any of them correctly follow more rules than you, I will
I'm
kill
scared.
you. And it's already begun. The rules are on your device now. I wonder if anyone's paying attention to what I'm saying right now. Mushroom, mushroom, stinky shark, Sacramento. Almost out of rules time.
Oof.
Well, now I'm
Oof.
mad at
Okay.
everybody.
Okay, I'm still alive. Staying alive. Staying alive.
I think we did this.
Let's try another one. I want to book a Sandals resort, but I don't know which one. Which beach has the longest coastline?
Hmm.
Who picked this?
Okay, I guessed it.
Lucky guesses.
Yes, lucky guesses.
I mean, 90
Let's
miles
keep
is
moving.
It
long
is
for a
long.
beach, so I just
For
thought
every action,
that makes
there's an
sense.
equal and opposite reaction. Whose law is this?
Oh, I know this for once. Heisenberg. Say my name.
This. Well, didn't want that to happen.
No credit for partial
Let's try
answers,
another
Private.
one. If I'm experiencing excruciating thyroid pain, where am I hurting?
You know, I honestly thought it was leg, but none of these answers are close to that.
Who picked
Oh no.
this?
Where is the thyroid?
I want to show you something. This is the one with the big creepy mirror. The ghost of my Aunt Mildred loves to write words on mirrors. She has her own consistent handwriting. Now, Aunt Mildred is going to write a different word. But so will everyone else. Draw a word on the mirror to camouflage Aunt Mildred's. Start writing on that mirror. Pay attention to the words as they appear and try to spot my auntie. So many convincing words to choose from.
Tad bit
Now, type the word that Aunt Mildred wrote, or
clear.
you die.
Watch me get it wrong.
Would the real Aunt Mildred please stand up?
Okay, good.
Aw, you got it!
That
This is
graveyard
my
was a little
second most
bit
disappointing
scary.
experience with a mirror.
I tried, man.
That
I
graveyard was
tried.
kind of like, it was
I
close.
was like-
Yeah.
I always lose with these. I feel like playing this one against Ghoul
Ah,
is kind of
crap.
unfair.
It's checkout time and too many of you are still alive. Let's
Same as
fix
the
that.
tattoo.
Wait, we're gonna what? I just got out,
You've
bruh.
been very resilient,
just got
but
out.
only one of you can survive this game. I hope you don't mind a little
The
water.
game just doesn't want us to be alive.
Only one of these keys will open the lock to your tank.
First try.
Pick the
Boom.
right key before you drown.
Okay. You know what? I'll let you pick. You pick first.
Oof, not off to a great start. Choose another key.
Oh. Hyperlock.
Oh. It's...
I guess I could have given you less keys. Well, hindsight is 20/20.
Well,
You've
I
made
still
it
need
so
to make it
far,
out, so
But can you escape? I'm going to give you a category. Monogamous animals. Tap each answer that fits the category, and then let's see the right answers.
hey.
You move forward one space for each correct answer. You're on your way to escaping. Ah, but it's not just you. If a ghost catches up with you, they will steal your life force. Then they can escape and win the game. Here's everyone's next question. And ghosts get a third choice to help them catch up to you.
I think I. Oh no 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 no.
Horse breeds.
Okay, I'm making a little bit of progress.
Primates. You're better than I thought.
Run away.
Don't look behind you. It's only darkness. Part of Alexander the Great's empire.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Not
Those
good.
ghosts are closing in on ya.
Oh, keeping concrete though.
Beatles songs.
Get me out of here. 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 Get me out of here.
Ugh, I gotta get some harder questions.
Run away.
Root vegetables and tubers.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Don't look back because there's a ghost right there.
No, no, no.
Oh no 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 no.
Types of lettuce.
Oh man. I knew iceberg was. Oof.
The tables have turned.
All the turntables.
Prepositions.
Oh.
One last trap. If you want to break through that barrier, you'll need a perfect answer to this question. And that includes the third answer choice now, too.
Oh!
I
The
am
steal.
not
Get
too sure.
all the right answers to escape.
Wow, congratulations, man.
I'm not too sure what Cool Whip is though.
Wait, did you put yes or no for Cool Whip?
Yes.
I assume that it's Cool Whip, so it's cool, so it doesn't have it, but I guess wrong. Well, thank you for playing. And thank you, Trivial, for playing as well, even though you did not win. That was a very
Wait, Aaron,
close match.
do I get
What's up?
2 points?
Yeah, you do. Alright.
Farming giveaway points.
Okay, so that will be the end of today's stream. We weren't able to finish the tier list, but we can always continue that in the future. Thank you all for tuning in to day 2. Thank you for playing. I hope you enjoyed it. Definitely welcome. But yeah, I'll be back tomorrow for day 3 of Welcome Back Week. Until then, stay safe, stay hydrated, and that will be it for tonight. Have a good one. Bye.